Okay. Are you actively trying to make Tony Bellew and Jake Paul?
No.
You made some comments about that.
Well, someone asked me about it. I mean, no. By the way, Jake Paul would never fight Tony Bellew. I'll do it though. I like Jake Paul. I think what he does is he rubs people up completely the wrong way. So when you say I'm carrying boxing right now, people take that quite offensively in boxing, and obviously Tony was one of them. I don't know whether he actually believes that or not. Probably does actually. But listen, once we nail Taylor Serrano, me and Jake Paul are going to be co-promoters.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Huge fight.
Did that happen in March? April. Where?
Madison Square Garden. Biggest female fight of all time. But let's stop saying biggest female fight of all time and just say one of the biggest fights of all time. Undisputed lightweight world champion against a 7-division world champion. Matchroom, most valuable promotions. Huge event. Live on DAZN, baby.
Who would have thought it, eh?
I had no problem with it. Look at the job that Jake Paul's done for Amanda Serrano. I mean, you know, one, he's got a great deal. He's increased her value. She's done a great job as well. And Katie Taylor, biggest star in female boxing, goes into that fight with another huge star. You know, biggest promoter in the world, and Jake Paul. And just a great mix. And you'll see how myself and Jake and MVP work on that event. It'll be impressive. It'll be very impressive promotion.
It was around 2 years ago that you had Jake Paul fight on your card in Miami against Anise and Gibb. Yeah. So, would you have ever thought kind of this? He has had an impact on boxing, whether people like it or not. He has, because we're talking about it now. But would you have seen this situation?
No, because it didn't do that well, to be honest with you. He's had a huge impact on boxing, and I feel like most of it is positive, to be honest with you. I don't see the downside of it. It's not like he's terrible and he's embarrassing himself every time he goes into the ring. And I knew before the Gibb fight that he could fight and that he was better than Logan and those guys. Obviously dismantled Gibb, but Gibb just had a stinker that night. I mean, and there was just levels. And then, but it didn't do that well. Obviously Logan against KSI was huge. But the Jake Paul Gibb fight didn't do great business for us. But I met Nikisa and Jake in a team, and I've got to give him unbelievable credit. Look what they've done. I couldn't have told you that after that night he'd go on to be doing what he's doing. So I don't see the hate really. I mean, you can think he's a plonker, and I think a lot of people do. Sometimes I think he is, but it doesn't mean you can't respect him for what he's doing and what he's done. And like legitimately, dealing with him for Taylor Serrano has been really, like, that could have been a fight that was really hard to make for various different reasons. And I think we'll do business together. More business on fights and stuff like that. Maybe not us involved in his fights, but look, he's had Montana Love. He put him on his card. We signed him. Liam Paro, he was on his card. We signed him. He's given these guys a good platform. And you can't underestimate his numbers and his draw power. And you'll see that in the Serrano fight.